What's up guys, it's Brian here from Perplexity Pictures, and I wanted to share with you a nice little pre-production tool called color indexing. And when you hear that term, you might think this is something primarily for maybe graphic designers or someone doing fine art. And this is a technique I picked up from an illustrator. Blake Chamness is a Denver illustrator. I'll include a link to his stuff in the description below. But this does have a lot of applications in the film and video production world, especially in relation to pre-production. So this is a technique when, let's say you're working with a client and they have a very clear idea, they can give you some reference images. Maybe they don't have the vocabulary to give you, a color escape or anything like that, but they can give you tons and tons of reference images. Color indexing is a great way to start when working with clients and deciding color palettes that way. So this image I have here, this is actually an image from the behind the scenes album for one of our new music video clients, Michelle Mandico. And we are gonna use her image and we're gonna index this image. So the first thing you wanna do is open your image up in Photoshop like I have right here. And up in the toolbar up top, you wanna go to Image, Mode, and then go to Indexed Color. And that's gonna bring up a nice menu right here. So the first thing you'll notice is that the number of colors is highlighted right here. You can adjust that number. Personally, I like to pull all 256 colors out of the image just so I can be really, really selective when I'm making my color palette. So I'm gonna leave mine at 256. Feel free to choose any number. So up here in the palette drop down, we're gonna go to Custom. And when we click Custom, it's gonna bring up this secondary menu right here. And right here is all 256 colors from this image of Michelle that I have. So that in itself is actually color indexing. Like, that's the technique. That's it. It's really clean. However, now you're asking, what can I do with it? So what I'm going to do, and there's probably a much cleaner way to do this. I just like to do it the quick and dirty way. I'm going to take a screenshot of just the colors that we have extracted right here. And we'll let that go. All right, Brian, how can I use this in the real world? So the first thing we're gonna do, get rid of these. What you wanna do is then move into Adobe Illustrator. And what you're seeing right now is the work that I've already done for Michelle. And what you'll see is I have a number of these screenshots that look just like what we had over here. Let's get that image up. All right. And essentially what I did was I made my two columns and then picked out color palettes that I thought were kind of in tune with what Michelle was thinking, when we had spoken in our meetings, and then deduced a color palette from there. Now, I'll actually show you guys one of the images that I used for Michelle. Let's hop back into Photoshop. So for Michelle's project, this was a reference image that she liked. She liked the tones a lot and the desaturated colors and how it's very soft. So I did index that image, and in Illustrator, it's the palette right here. And that ended up being her favorite palette. So we went back and forth a few times, and ultimately we ended up with the product right here. So a very, very, very simple color palette that we have right here, but it is a jumping point in terms of video production. Once you have a color palette, it's something for your lighting designer to jump off of, your director of photography to jump off of. Really anyone who has any art direction on the set can use a color palette in some way, shape, or form. I hope you guys liked the tutorial. Feel free to leave comments, feedback, etc. Ask me any questions. And if there are any tutorials you want to see from Perplexity at all, please let us know.